Wow, Rafael, I don't know about you, but this one is just amazing. I cannot believe all the great news we share in this episode.
Yeah, wait till our folks hear the numbers. My goodness gracious, what an impact. What an impactful organization doing amazing things. Wow.
So, folks, we've got Tammy Boyd, and she is here to talk to us about her role in the industry, but particularly her role as president of Kids Chance of Florida, a really amazing organization.
Yeah, I've been as part of the national organization, and wait till you guys hear what they're doing in providing scholarships to kids of injured workers. Just astounding, amazing, really is.
Absolutely. So let's get to it, right, Rafael? Let's go talk to Tammy.
Let's go do it.
Hey, Rafael, how's it going?
Oh my God, Yvonne, it's freezing. I don't know what's happening. Winter has arrived in Tampa like it has never arrived before. It's crazy. It's crazy cold, Yvonne.
Well, it's interesting because our guest today is Miss Tammy Boyd. Hello, Tammy.
Hello.
And she's also in the Tampa Bay area. So we're getting lots of coldness from you guys. So we normally don't do this to avoid dating the episode, but I can't help it. This past weekend was Gasparilla. So I know that you both are big Gasparilla fans. So how was it?
Well, it was so we usually go to the children's, and just because of the proximity of where we live, we'll just take a gander through the adult parade. Even with the very cold temperatures, like for everybody else that, Floridians think anything below 70 is cold. Well, it was in the 30s with gusts of like Hurricane 1 strength. Okay, so we have legitimate complaint. Nonetheless, great crowds showed up, and it was such a festive, fun environment. It was very enjoyable, even despite the cold weather.
Wow, and Ralph, I saw some of your pictures. You guys were all bundled up.
We were. It was just cold, and it rained on top of that. 30-something degrees, 40-mile-an-hour wind, and it rained.
All right. If you've never been to Gasparilla, folks, it's a really good time. Normally, it's a really good time of year to come to Tampa and see all the pirate shenanigans that are going on. It's a really great time. So, yes, we are going to talk about workers' comp today. So, Tammy, we've got a lot to catch up on. Why don't you tell our guests, our listeners, what your role is in the industry, and then we'll get to the meat of the conversation.
Sure. So I've been in the workers' comp industry for the last 15, 16 years, mostly on the ancillary side. For the last year or so, I've been working for TriStar Insurance Group, which is a national TPA, third-party administrator, and really have enjoyed that role. This year, it started off with just gangbusters with a lot of activity with new client opportunities. So it's been real exciting. Really enjoyed the opportunity here. And then more importantly too is the CEO of TriStar is a huge advocate of not just Kids Chance Florida, but Kids Chance of America. And they recently signed a partnership agreement with Kids Chance of America. So it's been so exciting to see how it's evolved.
That is awesome. So I know that you've been involved with the Kids Chance of Florida organization for a few years now. So congrats on your presidency. You are the current president of Kids Chance of Florida. So woohoo, congratulations.
Yeah, I've been involved with Kids Chance since 2017. I approached then president at the time, Bob Wilson. Hey, I love the mission of Kids Chance providing scholarships for students, especially as it's so specific to the work comp industry. It just really ties in nicely, and I'm like, how can I get involved? What can I do to help support it? And it went off from there to where I was invited a couple of years ago to join the board as treasurer, which it's not my strength, but I thought, well, it was David Langham, Judge Langham, that invited me. And I thought, my gosh, you don't say no to Judge Langham. So I knew that was a challenge for me and to get outside of my comfort zone. And so I knew that I'd be successful at it. And I had a great mentor, Kimberly Stotts. She's the past president of Kids Chance of Florida, and she was then the treasurer, and she wanted to advance in the chapter. And she was such a wonderful mentor. She's a great professional, and she's a huge advocate of Kids Chance. She's now sits on the Kids Chance of America board. So I can't thank her enough for her leadership.
That's amazing. So I cannot imagine that this could be true, but for those people listening that might not know about Kids Chance, the organization that's nationwide, or Kids Chance of Florida, give us the 30-second snippet of what Kids Chance of Florida is and does.
Sure. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We're national. So there's the movement in 1988 in Georgia, Kids Chance of America. Back then it was just Kids Chance. But then there was a grassroots movement, I want to say over the last 10 years, to where there's a state chapter in every state. In 2015, Kids Chance of Florida was established. So we've celebrated a decade of impact. We've awarded $453,000 to over 100 students across Florida. Yeah, we're so excited. And we put together a graphic a few months ago when we were doing our annual report, and really showed that impact, where there's students throughout Florida that have been awarded scholarships through Kids Chance of Florida. So it's had such tremendous growth and support throughout the community, the workers' compensation community and beyond, that we're really just gaining momentum. I just see this, and even with Kids Chance of America, last year they started a Stronger Together campaign, and I really believe that we're now getting into that stride of working together with all the chapters and learning best practices, and having the right tools afforded to us to make us more successful for all of the state chapters, not just Florida. Even with Kids Chance of Florida, there's another organization that was established prior to that called Friends of 440, and they also provide scholarships to families in Florida for injured workers and community members. And so we want to partner with them. I've been in discussions with the president of that organization. How can we work together versus kind of being in our own silos? They've been wonderful in helping identify students that could also have scholarships with Kids Chance of Florida. So we really want to strengthen that partnership.
That's amazing, Tammy. So I'm so proud of you. For those that don't know, Tammy and I were co-ambassadors a few years back, for several years running, for the Alliance of Women in Workers' Compensation. And so I got to know Tammy quite well during those few years, and I really have enjoyed watching you grow and flourish over the years. And now seeing you president at the Kids Chance of Florida chapter, it's really awesome. So again, congratulations.
Congratulations to you too, because you've flourished, as I've seen together, and you've been the backbone of so many events in Florida, especially with what you do with your podcast, as well as your advocacy for Alliance of Women in Workers' Comp. You were really the backbone of Florida for a number of years. So Thank you, Yvonne. You truly were. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Well, yes. Let's stop there with, I'm going to turn it over to Rafael to let him ask some questions, but we want to kind of hone in on the mentorship piece of this, because Rafael and I dropped our intro episode this year, and mentoring was one of the things that we really talked about as being a core. If you're in the workers' compensation industry and you're experienced, seasoned, as we all are, we're really encouraging folks to take an opportunity to find a path to mentoring in our industry. And of course, Kids Chance is a great way to do that. So with that, I'm going to take a pause and let Rafael ask a couple of questions.
Thanks, Yvonne. Tammy, I too want to say congrats. I just love you. I mean, and you have been such an integral part of our industry now for such a long while. Steady, serviceful, always trying to find a solution and be helpful. Admire the stuff you've been doing for a really long time, Tammy. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kids Chance of Florida. Give us a little bit, now that you're president and you've been involved with, with the organization for a while, what are your plans? Short term, long term? What are you hoping to get accomplished here over the next year or two?
Yeah, thank you, Rafael, for your kind words. So I wanted to start out looking at the foundational roots of our chapter, how it started. I've been coming through all of the bylaws. We have 10 pages of bylaws, and I've been working hand in hand with our program director of making some changes, not big ones, but just I'm looking at it from a holistic perspective of 10 years down the road to make sure that it's sustainable, and leaning on previous board members who are emeritus status, and they built the foundations of this chapter. So I wanted to understand from their perspective of what I should be focusing on, what are maybe some pitfalls that I might encounter, and just I really wanted to have strength and momentum for the next 10 years. So I've been looking at the bylaws from that, and then I've also been looking at how can I make the chapter stronger. We've been fortunate to where we have over 40 volunteers, whether they're board members or ambassadors or supporters. And so I felt, because I was in that role as an ambassador, not sure where to help and where to plug in. So I'm helping create some committees that we haven't formed yet. So I'm looking at, so we have really good committees with the finance committee, the golf committee, scholarship committee, but I feel like we need to have some other ones that are really focused on outreach, and then even with student engagement, conferences, and just even sponsorships, to where we still have just that channel of money that continues to flow to help support students. Because my biggest fear is the what if. What if we crack the code of, instead of having 20 students like we awarded last year, what if we have 100 and we don't have enough money to support them? So that's my biggest fear. So I want to make sure that we're sustainable and we're in a great position moving forward. So that's kind of where my thoughts are, is the foundational process as well as looking ahead to the future. So whoever is sitting in my seat in a couple of years, that they have good foundation to work from. So our board also is fantastic. We're very collaborative. We work well together. We're very supportive and communicative with one another. So that's a big, just thankful for all of them, because we're all volunteers, and so I'm very grateful for all of them, that they're willing to help at a moment's notice of if there's somebody that needs to attend an event where somebody's presenting a check, or that they're doing an event for fundraising, that we're all hands on deck, which is very, very grateful for that kind of support.
Love that. Love that. And I think it's where Yvonne was going with this. I'm thinking both short-term and long-term, right? That student engagement, because Yvonne, I've seen it with our own eyes, right? You guys do such a wonderful job of mentoring the students and carrying them through the college experience. Give us a little bit of, what are you guys working through there? What are the plans there?
Yeah, we're wanting, so we do the care packages on an annual basis. It's usually in the fall as they're wrapping up the fall semester. And we actually ask the students, what's your wish list? So we get what they'd like, and some of it's really cute on some of the things that they want. And we go out on a mission of trying to find these items. And then we make sure that we have all of those items in there. And we also send positive messages wishing them well, and we're really on their team and supporting them and cheering them on as they approach finals. So we've been engaged with that. And then also we're looking into, and this is more like Kids Chance initiative, of having a mentoring type program and having other services and just scholarships. So I know Kids Chance of America is looking at mental health services, because, you know, as both of you know, that when an injured worker becomes injured, it not just affects that person, but it affects the entire family. So with Kids Chance, it helps remove that barrier and helps families regain hope and stability. So that's what we're really trying to focus on too. And as you were mentioning earlier too, Yvonne, with I see a common thread, and I've mentioned this to you before, when you meet some of these students, that there's a common thread I see is not only are they resilient, you know, because they've been through a catastrophic event with their families, but also that they're ambitious, they're so poised and already just ready out there wanting to conquer the world. So it's just so impressed by all of them that I meet. It's very rewarding.
Very true. I know every time that Rafael and I have been involved when we're interviewing one of the students, usually during the work WCI event, it's just, we're blown away. Like, we sit there for just, you know, minutes after, just shaking our heads going, wow, wow, wow. So
it takes a village, just like, you know, raising a child takes a village to work together as a community and in our industry. So we have really, you know, giving hearts and helping hands. So that's always goes a long ways too.
So Tammy, what are some ways that people could get more involved in Kids Chance of Florida? I know you mentioned the golf tournament, you mentioned the care packages in the fall. What are some ways that you really need people to step up and provide anything? Like, give us some things that people can get more connected to.
Sure. So there's a number of ways that I feel that people can connect and support Kids Chance in different means. So there's always volunteer opportunities. So if we're all working with real professional jobs. So everybody that's on our board and even the ambassadors, we're all volunteers. So it's all volunteer based. So if you can help just spread the word, advocacy, if you know of a family, if you're working in claims or know of families, and it can be anonymous, and a child doesn't have to be college age. So there can be a child that maybe is younger, that isn't college ready, that there's a Planning for the Future initiative. So it's a database that is kept and updated frequently to where when the child is ready to enter college or technical school, then they're available. Other opportunities, that you can be a sponsor, you can be a named scholarship. So we have a few organizations that they have identified where they want to be named scholarships for that student. So that's another way. Participating in the fundraising events, we've had great support with our golf tournament. 70% of them have returned every year. So that's just been amazing and very rewarding. And it's just the advocacy is just getting the word out there. It's really been grassroots efforts. I know I've been meeting with a lot of different organizations, even outside of work comp. I'm meeting with a organization that's they help support families of fallen officers. So they've asked me to come to their next chapter meeting, and then just being sensitive to the needs of those families and meeting them wherever they are at that time, and even working with at the state level for the Florida School Boards Association. They've been putting out information about Kids Chance in their weekly newsletter, which has been very gracious of them. So just talking with a lot of other people I had one lady in the industry. She put together a whole business plan of how she wanted to help support Kids Chance of Florida with just going out and for sponsorship opportunities. It's just like blown away. I'm like, you're the committee chair. Go run with it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And is there, I should know the answer to this question, but I don't, so I'm going to ask, is there a specific pathway to mentorship within the organization, or does that just sort of happen organically with the folks that are on the board and that are volunteering?
Right. So we're really, careful with the privacy of students and scholars So we make sure that they're board level for that kind of engagement with families, just to protect their privacy and you know, don't want to exploit them either. So we're very sensitive to that. So mentorship is more through like the care packages and staying in touch with them on a frequent basis through however communication that the student wants to engage in, whether it's text messaging or a phone call, or maybe they don't want to have any outreach at all. So we kind of meet them where they're at. So just very mindful of their privacy and just respecting their wishes.
Understood. Totally understood. Ralph?
I want to sort of take a little bit of a turn, Tammy, because I know that you've been with TriStar now for a little while. You've played multiple roles in different organizations over a lengthy period of time. So I wanted to figure out from you, how's it going? You know, what are you up to? Are you enjoying it? Because it's a little bit different than you've done before. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I for the most last decade or more, it's been on the ancillary side, mostly on the neuro rehab space, with TriStars being on the third-party administrator side and going through RFP proposals. It's totally different in mindset and interaction, and just it's been very rewarding. I'll have to say that, and just that. Emotionally and mentally, it's very stimulating because you have to you read through hundreds of pages sometimes of these requests for proposals. So you really have to pay attention to details and thought process, and just the value driven too by what TriStar has to offer, and how we're at a competitive advantage over others in the industry. So I feel very fortunate to work for TriStar. It's been very rewarding for me. Like I was telling you guys earlier that like January 1st, it seems like, you know, the gates opened and the floodwaters came. I was just like overwhelmed for the first couple of weeks that there were so many deadlines and opportunities that we were able to collectively as an organization accomplish. So I'm really grateful that I work with a lot of great professionals in the industry across the nation. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work here with TriStar. It's a wonderful organization.
Love it. Tammy, are you all over the country? Are you traveling nationally, or is it more regional?
It depends either on the event or the opportunity. So mostly Southeast region, but depending on the event or the client opportunity that I'm flying other parts of the country. So I'll be at WCRI in March, and then Colorado in March, and San Diego for the Kids Chance National Conference in April.
That's fantastic. You're such a wonderful addition to the TriStar team. I couldn't be more proud of you. I'm so glad that you are getting to do this with great experience and with great value you bring to the organization. Congrats there too, Tammy. That's awesome.
Thank you. It truly is a wonderful organization. It's like before I came on board, I had a mental checklist of everything I wanted in an employer, and they just checked everything off for me. So I'm very grateful.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great when that happens?
Really, very much so. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I kind of want to go back to Kids Chance of Florida a little bit. So I asked you about what are some ways people can get involved let's make sure we talk about the upcoming events this year so that we can, put those out there. I'll make sure and put them in the show notes as well.
Right. So our flagship fundraising event is August 23rd, our 6th annual golf tournament. We've been fortunate enough, the last 5 have been sold out. What we're doing differently this year that we expanded to a little bit, and it kind of happened as we were approaching the event, is working with the golf club or course that they allowed us to have a second session. So we now are able to invite more golfers to play in the afternoon session. I apologize, and it's in the heat of summer, but some of them don't seem to mind.
Wow, but that's exciting.
It is exciting because I hated turning away people who were on a wait list. So that always, was a concern for me. And then the Marriott, we've already been in touch with them. Our golf committee is already planning when they're going to start their launch and registration. Registration hasn't opened yet, but it's more than likely going to be sometime in March. So we'll announce that as it approaches. But the Marriott's been wonderful to work with. And so they assured us that their prices haven't raised. So we're really excited about that because that's always a concern and trying to manage that kind of an event. And so we're excited to be working with the Marriott again and not having to pass on cost too. So that's very nice. So we're excited.
Awesome. That's awesome. Look at that, Ralph. We have breaking news. Double their golfers this year at Kids Chance of Florida.
I know, yeah. So that's always, we're real excited about that. We've already identified, like I mentioned earlier, that there's a scholar who just graduated in December and wanting to participate as a scholarship recipient testimonial along with his dad, and we welcome him with open arms. And so we're excited about that because sometimes it's a challenge to try and find a scholarship a student who will want to come and actually engage. So I want to have an event that has kind of that student engagement, and taking a deep into other chapters of what they're doing and how maybe that we can apply it to our own chapter. And I saw one where they actually provide a scholarship luncheon and award the scholarships at the luncheon. I think it's a challenge with Florida because we're such a big state, but I'd like to see something like that to where you have that engagement and you actually get to meet face to face. I love the idea of that, and I know that you and I have talked, down the road to have a gala of some sorts, that'll be fun and engaging in another fundraising avenue.
Absolutely. How exciting.
I know. I feel like I'm hearing it, like I am first in line. This is exciting stuff.
Yeah. So, and we have another organization that they're doing a 5K fun run down in South Florida, and they're kicking that off, and we're excited to be partnering with them. And so we're looking forward to that. So there's organizations that seem to be coming to us with, hey, we want to do this. We want to help support Kids Chance. And so we're glad that seems to be evolving, moving forward with organizations that are coming forth and coming with ideas of how to raise funds and to support the chapter. So we're excited about that.
How exciting. All good news.
It really is. It's terrific. And that's so natural to you, Tammy, because you've always been about that, about growing the organizations, by working together, by embracing, by bringing in, right? Welcoming folks. So right up your alley. It's your specialty, if you will. Love it.
So Tammy, we chatted a little bit about, how you and I know each other, through our co-ambassador time at Alliance of Women in Workers' Compensation. For those that are listening and may be interested in providing volunteering, whatever they can for an organization, or maybe stepping into a board seat like you have at Kids Chance of Florida, talk to our listeners about, even if you think you're not ready, or even if you think you're not qualified, how did you overcome that feeling in yourself to be able to put yourself out there? I know that you said it was because Judge Langham asked you, and you don't say no to Judge Langham, but clearly you had to do some digging deep in order to put yourself out there. Talk to us about that.
Right. Well, that there weren't any time restrictions, so there wasn't if you do, are you considering volunteering? Do I have the time? So there's no dedication of a specific number of hours that you need to volunteer. So that's completely open-ended. So if you can only maybe contribute during the golf tournament, or maybe just, maybe supporting an event here or there, or just whatever it is that you feel like you want to contribute to, we're supportive of those kind of opportunities. And so we're really flexible that way. And then just, I would say, start with baby steps of saying, hey, I just want to be an ambassador wherever you feel like I can add value, whether maybe, during the scholarship vetting season that we're looking at those and scrutinizing the scholarship applications. So we're really looking at those really kind of almost labor intensive in a sense, but those opportunities, and just even communications for me that I'm always looking at, because I do a lot of the communications for the chapter now, but it's just like I need another me sometimes. So somebody that maybe has that skill set that really is passionate about that where they could feel like they could contribute. So whatever, it doesn't have to be a lot. It just start somewhere, and then kind of find your way if you feel like this is something where you want to add value. I've had ambassadors come to me. I've actually even gone to other ambassadors, like, where do you see yourself plugging in? What is it that you want to accomplish? Because I want them to feel like this is their journey and their mission too, and not to feel like they're not creating or adding value to the organization, because their support has meant tremendous to me personally, as well as to the chapter as a whole. So even like at events that are coming up now, WCCP has always been a wonderful event that has supported Kids Chance of Florida and given us a table there and booth space. So sometimes the challenges that we have at some of these state events is manning a table. If you can do that, an hour's time even would be tremendous value to our chapter. So just, it doesn't have to be a lot. Just start out something small,
Well, and I heard you say something, so I'm going to repeat it. I think you said this earlier, that you in particular really had to step outside your comfort zone because you started off with the kids, with your board journey anyway, with Kids Chance of Florida. You had to take on the role of treasurer. So sometimes your most amazing growth comes from stepping into those times where you're not the most comfortable. And, we often say, Ralph and I do, that we do have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable sometimes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember Christy Sands, she's on our board, and I invited her to be a board member. And one of this, she cracked me up and she goes, everybody knows I'm not a math girly. And that's me. Like, everybody must know I am not a math girly. And being humble enough to take on the challenge and knowing that I'm not going to fail, and had the support of other board members and having that mentorship there to help me be a success, and just knowing that it's a supportive environment that we're working into. So even if you feel like it is uncomfortable, I'm not good at a certain skill set, but I want to get better. I want to learn how to get better. And this would be a good environment to do it. Like I said before, we're very collaborative on our board, and even on the ambassadors that they get together. And so I just, that's rewarding in and of itself, because there is that camaraderie that we have amongst peers in our industry.
So awesome, Rafael.
I love this discussion because, Yvonne, you and I get asked that all the time throughout the country. How do I get in, right? Here's what I heard. Volunteer, get involved, support the organization's events, become an ambassador, seize the opportunity to serve, take the pictures, write the article, put the newsletter together, and yes, take the leap, serve on the board, become treasurer, even though math may not be your thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're all
those were all really great things, Rafael, but I'm going to repeat one thing that she said that I think is so important. So for all you folks that are involved in claims management, if you know of a family that has had an unfortunate situation happen, and you know of some children, even if they're not college age already, this is the real key. It's so amazing that the Kids Chance of America organization has this database that allows us to be in touch with these children, so that when they are going into college age years, we are able to match. So I think that's a really critical component, in addition to all the great things that you mentioned, Ralph.
Love it.
Right. And then also I wanted to add to just the impact. So just Florida alone, in the past 10 years, we've awarded $453,000 to over 100 Florida students, but nationwide, the impact's even so much greater. So it's been $42 million in scholarships awarded to over 11,000 students nationwide. You know,
that is so awesome. Thank you for saying those numbers, Tammy. It really is incredible. Yeah. And, you know, when we think about that, so if you're listening to us and you're not in Florida, as Tammy mentioned before, we now have Kids Chance chapters in every state. So
kidschance.org.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
kidschance.org. And then you can find a state chapter there in your state, wherever state that might be.
That is right. So, wow, what a tremendous impact. It's just so amazing to think about it. Ralph, any last questions, comments?
I'm blown away by that number. My goodness gracious. Talk about an impact, right?
I mean, yeah, there's other state chapters that are just phenomenal on the award amount that they give, that you're just like, I want to be them when I get there.
Wow. How awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that stronger together that I really think that Kids Chance is going to just grow.
Wow. Well, Tammy, thank you so much for spending time with us today and sharing your insights about this wonderful organization. And again, congrats to you as the new president of Kids Chance of Florida. We know that you're going to do amazing things and tremendous things during your time there. And we can't wait to see you again real soon.
I appreciate that. I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of an organization that gives hope to families, some during their most difficult time in their lives, and making students succeed and prosper and grow. It's such a rewarding experience.
Awesome. I am so excited. I really am, man. I am enthused. I'm ready to go, Tammy. Let's go.
All right. So our time has come to an end. We're going to wrap it here, and we look forward to seeing you real soon, but specifically at the WCI event. Wow, Ralph, that was so much fun. Can you believe all the great stuff Tammy shared with us?
Really was. So incredibly proud of her, the amazingness of her experience and all that she brings to the table, and how awesome that she's leading the Florida chapter. Just awesome.
So folks, if you're still listening, thank you so much. We couldn't do what we do without your support. We are now at 52,500 downloads, Ralph.
Woohoo! I love it.
Yeah, we're getting into season 6. So if you'd like to connect with us beyond the podcast, find Ralph or myself on LinkedIn. We also have a Deconstructing Comp podcast page where we post all of our episodes. Where else can they find us, Ralph?
They can now go to YouTube as of last year, watches all the shenanigans behind the scenes. I'm in love with myself. I'm really enjoying the shows.
And I promise to get that bloopers episode pulled together this year. That should be fun. So in addition to LinkedIn and YouTube, you can find us on any podcast platform, Apple, Google, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to your podcast, you can find us there. So please like us, rate us, share us with your friends.
I was going to say, don't forget our latest, the newsletter.
Comp Deconstructed. So go check us out. Check out our website. You can sign up for the newsletter there. It's being delivered through Substack, a great new platform where you can read news and stay up with interests that are your favorites. So until next time, thank you for listening.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.